Let's talk more about artificial intelligence and the big tech players driving its development. Bob O'Donnell is President and Chief Analyst at TECHnalysis Research. Bob, thanks so much for joining us. Really interesting to hear that both Alphabet and Microsoft are doing really well. But Meta, of course, which owns Facebook and Instagram, has not done well. Does this suggest that Microsoft and Google, Alphabet, are the kingpins in this particular market at the moment?
I don't necessarily believe it's kingpins for the long term. Certainly in the here and now, it is absolutely the case that we're seeing Microsoft and Google/Alphabet monetize, as you said. The other thing, too, is part of this is it's sort of a textbook case of how you need to couch certain things in your earnings calls. All three companies said, we're going to spend a ton of money on the infrastructure we need for doing AI. Of course, great news for NVIDIA and AMD, because that means everybody's going to be buying their chips. The problem was Meta just said, we're going to spend a lot of money on this stuff. Microsoft and Google said, we're going to spend a lot of money on this stuff because we have so much demand that we have to do it. And that subtle but very important difference is what triggered a lot of the change. Now, to be fair, also, Meta's forecast wasn't quite as strong as expected, and both Google and Microsoft not only crushed it on the earnings, but had a great forecast. And, of course, Google Alphabet announced a dividend, which made everybody very happy.
So talk to us about what the money is being spent on. We know that these big players, including Amazon, NVIDIA, and Apple, are starting to buy up these smaller companies. But what is that where most of the money is being spent?
No, most of the money is being spent to buy compute servers and GPUs. Basically, they're putting together huge data centers full of big racks of servers powered by Intel CPUs typically, and then, but most importantly, by NVIDIA and AMD GPUs. People are spending literally billions and billions of dollars on these. That's why AMD and NVIDIA have been doing so incredibly well. And because the demand is absolutely there, companies see that they need to purchase this in order to run their big foundation models, which is powering these AI services. Now, to your question, yes, they're buying some of these smaller companies, but that's not really the important part. Some of those things may play out over time, but now it's basic blocking and tackling around getting this compute infrastructure they need, the storage, the fast, high-speed networking, all of that hardware in order to run these huge foundation models at the speeds and at the quantities and levels that customers are now demanding of them.
Let's talk the big picture here, because it's all very new and the landscape is still being revealed. Where do you see all of this heading, specifically in terms of AI use in big tech rather? How omnipresent will it get? What are the timelines, and is it going to change everything ultimately?
Ultimately, yes. To answer your last question first, I do think it's going to change everything. So here's what we're going to see: a whole bunch of different things. We're going to start to see services that are powered by AI. And a very basic example is, for example, Microsoft's M365. That's Office. Right now they have a version of Office that is AI powered, and they're charging companies $30 an employee a month to have access to that. Google has Workspace. That's their equivalent. It's Office productivity. Same kind of thing. In addition, we've got other services online from the big cloud guys, from Amazon, from Microsoft, from Google, where companies are working to take some of their own data and then customize some of these big existing AI models to gain more insights into their information. They're doing it for things like customer service and online chatbots to analyze sales information in a way that they haven't been able to before, to help their programmers internally code new applications. All of these things are happening, and we're going to see them across the board from everybody. I mean, look, is there a little bit of AI whitewashing going on right now? Of course there is, because everybody's jumping on the train. But in this case, there really are practical, tangible things, and we saw that from both Microsoft and Google in particular, because they have so many customers who are buying these services, and they expect to see a lot more of that moving forward.
All right. Thank you so much for chatting to us, Bob O'Donnell, President and Chief Analyst at TECHnalysis Research.